Well, hello, and welcome to our Sunday program. I'm Rabbi Goodman, and you're welcome to the Temple of the Ten Commandments. This is where we talk a little bit about the very, very specialness of the Temple of the Ten Commandments, which is only 35 years old. And the Temple of the Ten Commandments used to be in the area called the Swamp. If you'd like to know what the swamp was or where it was, go ask someone who knows. In the meantime, we're going to talk a little bit about what you see and what is important here and special about the Temple of the Ten Commandments. I'm standing in the old section of the temple, and sometime after the temple was built, a new section was added behind you, which you do not see, but believe me, it is there. So, we're going to start right here. This is our menorah, our 7-branched menorah. This menorah has a wonderful history. It was made at Yagu, and if you'd like to know more about that, tune in to last Sunday, that's week 2 Sunday presentation. Matt Delva will talk about how he helped create this beautiful menorah. Right under the menorah, we have 3 tzedakah boxes. Tzedakah in Jewish tradition means doing the right thing. It means righteousness. And we give, like charity, we give not because we might feel like it or not feel like it, but we give it because it is the right thing. And that is why we bring light and how we bring light into our world. So we keep our menorah right next to our tzedakah boxes to remind us of that. Bring light into the world. We have plaques and mementos that you can see that were made for us here. This was the old ark from the old Temple of the Ten Commandments. Where? In the swamp. And this is a picture of, you know who. If you think you know who's in the picture, put it in as a response underneath. Somebody took a picture of a Sunday morning, and this picture was made into an oil painting by a gentleman who donated it to us as a special gift. Over here is our eternal light. It is burning in every synagogue. There's one in every synagogue in the world. Sometimes they're above the ark, and sometimes they're on the side of the ark. It also reminds us of the lamp, of our menorah, which was always burning in the temple. And this lamp, reminiscent of that, is always burning in every synagogue. This is the first thing that I light when I open the temple at the beginning of the season, and the last thing that I turn off when we leave at the end. So over here we have more plaques that you can see, and it reminds us of who we are and where we are, where we came from. Now, you may not know where the swamp is, but if you go to the challenge field, once upon a time, when the Temple of the Ten Commandments was at the challenge field, there was a marker, just like this, that notes the site of the old Temple of the Ten Commandments. If you found this marker on one of the trees, you would be able to make a left turn and go down towards the swamp, and that would tell you where the old temple used to be. So we keep this also. We are very fond of it. It's lasted a long time, and we always remember the old temple. We remember things, just like you have patches and numbers and symbols on your uniforms. They remind you of who you are and what your true traditions are as well. So, in the middle, we have our ark. Our ark is very, very special. It has 10 phrases on it. And I would invite you to guess what those phrases are. And if you said they are the beginning words of each of the 10 commandments, you're absolutely right. Why do we have these 10 commandments on our ark? Because, yes, we are in the temple of the 10 commandments. Now, inside our ark is our Torah scroll. This Torah scroll is actually older than Yahu, and it too has the 10 commandments on top of it, and it has a piece of the dowel, the crown of the dowel right here, because the scroll is attached to 2 dowels. The crown of the dowel was made for us at Yahu by our rangers, by Mr. Paul Forbes, who was the superintendent, the chief ranger for many, many years here at Yahu. When the top of it broke off, it was created for us right here at Yahu. Now, inside our Torah scroll, you may be able to see, inside our Torah scroll, the scroll is written on parchment, and it contains the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Now, every synagogue across the world reads the same section of the Torah each week, beginning with the first lines of the book of Genesis, and each week reading the next section, until at the end of the year they read the last words of Deuteronomy, and we turn right around, we re-roll it back to the beginning, and we start over to read the Torah again from the beginning. It's a never-ending cycle of reading and studying and learning, and we're told that every time we read the Torah, something new happens, something new is learned. And that's really important. If you ever read a book once or twice and find out something new the second time or the third time around, this is what happens. And this has been going on for 2,000 years. Now, this Torah is, let me back up a moment. Just back up. Here at Yahu, so I said, every week the same section in every synagogue is read. However, here at Yahu, we only read one section of the Torah every Shabbat. Every Friday night during camp, we only read one section. Anybody want to take a guess what that section is? If you said it's the 10 Commandments, you're absolutely correct. When we read the Torah at Yahu, we only read the 10 Commandments. Why? Because we are in the temple of the 10 Commandments. That's correct. Now, this is an Ashkenazi Torah. An Ashkenazi Torah is on 2 dowels, and it is the Torah that is used by Ashkenazi Jews who are basically come from Eastern Europe. Now, there are also Jewish people, we call them Sephardi. They have their traditions coming from Spain and Portugal, parts of Italy, and parts of Holland. And we have another group, Mizrahi Jews. Mizrahi Jews come from largely the Arab lands, the Middle Eastern lands, Iraq, Egypt, Tunisia, and Morocco are just some of those where Mizrahi Jews come from. So all of them have exactly the same Torah. Their Torahs read exactly the same way, down to the very, very, very letter and paragraph and line. So, if you were to take any 2 Torahs, or 3 Torahs, or 4 Torahs in the world, they would read and lay them up all side by side. They would have exactly the same number of words, same number of letters and paragraphs, and the same number of sentences, down to the letter. These Torahs, this Torah has been copied by hand by an individual called a scribe, who is especially trained, and he writes the Torah with a quill and a very, very special kind of ink which he has to prepare himself. He may not write the Torah from memory. He has to use another book to copy it. And this has been copied exactly for 2,000 years. We have Torah scrolls that are 2,000 years old that are virtually identical to this one. Imagine reading a book that's been copied by hand for 2,000 years without a mistake. Now, the difference between an Ashkenazi Torah like this and a Sephardi Torah is that a Sephardi Torah is encased in a large, round, wooden case. The dowels are in the case, and the entire scroll is wrapped around in this wooden or silver case. It's called a teak. And when the Torah is read in a Sephardi or a Mizrahi synagogue, it is placed on the reading desk, just like this one, and it is opened up. The case is opened up, and the entire congregation can actually see the reader read the words of the Torah. It is absolutely magnificent. Now, we may not touch the Torah scroll with our fingers. Why? Because the oil on our fingers may erase some of the letters. If the letters are erased, then we really cannot read the Torah. We cannot use the Torah. It has to be fixed. It has to be repaired. So we use a pointer. Now, over the course of 20 years, can you imagine, I have been coming to Yadin for 20 summers. In the course of all of those 20 summers, people have donated Torah pointers. Some of them are very elegant and stylized. Some of them are made of different materials, are whittled out. This is a piece of bamboo. This one is ambidextrous. You can point from the left or from the right, top or the bottom. I'll let you figure out which one is the top or which one is the bottom. Or this one actually has a hand with a finger. Now this one is very special because most Torah pointers are right-handed. This Torah pointer is left-handed. And since I am a lefty, I am very happy to own one of the only left-handed Torah pointers in the world. Now, we also have probably what I think is the world's largest Torah pointer. One year, Bigfoot was studying for his bar mitzvah, and he came to camp and practiced, and as a gift, he made us a Torah pointer. So this is Bigfoot's Torah pointer, and when he comes back to us one day, it's waiting for him to read the Torah with his very special pointer. So this is our very special Torah, and we're going to close the ark. And again, if you have questions or if you want to answer any of the questions that I have, you can put them in a box underneath the screen at the bottom of your screen. And we want to talk a little bit more about this Torah. Torah means many things. but it also means light. Remember we talked about our menorah? Menorah and Torah kind of rhyme. When studying the Torah, if people follow the words of our Torah, the words of the Bible, that is believed, we believe that we bring light into the world. This is called tikkun olam. This is called fixing the world. Our job in the world, is to bring light to dark corners. Each of us has a special light that shines within us. Each of us has a brightness. Each of us is unique. There is no other person in the world just like you. To each of you who is listening or watching, you are unique and special in this world. And this is what I want to leave you with as we conclude this moment. I want you to remember that you are special. There is no one like you in this world, and you have a special light to bring into our world. And how do you do that? You do the right thing. You do a good turn for another person daily. You are kind. You are thoughtful. You are friendly. You are thrifty. You are a person who listens to the Scout Law and practices it or pieces of it every single day of your life. So, this is your job. Take a moment each day to do a kindness for somebody, to thank someone who has done a kindness for you, and also take a moment to reflect on your week or your day and what you have accomplished, what you have grown, how you have helped somebody, what you have learned. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here and coming here. And remember, if you'd like to answer any of our questions, a lot of the answers and a lot of the things that are different, no two of our settings or services are the same. Put those in the box, and we will watch to see how observant you have been. Thank you for coming, and we will see you again.